All right, good evening, everybody. So I am so excited for this Zoom. We are going to be covering all things with signing loyal customers, right? I hear, nope, go in the other room, thank you. I was like, I hear those doors banging. I know she's coming in here. So we are going to talk all things loyal customers, and the main focus of this Zoom, kind of when we started thinking about different things, is going to be focusing on upselling. But obviously, if you're brand spanking new, you might be like, how in the heck can I get my 6 customers? And this girl is absolutely amazing at signing loyal customers and also upselling. So we're going to cover all things loyal customers. So Brianna, is it Brianna? Did I say that right? Or Brianna? Okay, Brianna. Some people are particular, so wanted to make sure. So if you'll just go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody, and then we'll jump right in.
Hi, I'm Brianna. Do you kind of want me to tell my story or
Yeah, just like a little bit about, how you got started, and maybe what made you jump in, and then what does life look like now?
okay, just to make sure. But I am Brianna. I am 21 years old. I joined this business almost 2 years ago. In November, it will be 2 years. I joined this business as an overweight and broke college student. I was very unhappy, and I just, wanted to better my health. And I was, going to school, and I wasn't working very many hours, and so I needed that extra income. And so when I was brought up this opportunity, I was like, well, why not lose weight and make money doing so? And I've been doing almost 2 years later, and I absolutely love this business. It has been so life-changing. And, if you're new, I am super excited for you guys. This business, is seriously going to change your life, and I am so excited.
I love it. Okay, so if you're brand spanking new, I want, or maybe you guys can go ahead and put in the chat. I always say the comments, but it's the chat. Put how long ago you got started. That way we can kind of get a guideline of, kind of what we're working with tonight. But also too, if you're watching this recording, know that if you've just gotten started in your first 30 days, your first goal is to get those first 6 customers. Because one, it's going to qualify you for any future bonus. But 2, it also unlocks a $150 shopping spree. And so for me personally, that was like the golden ticket. Like I knew that I wanted to try products. I didn't want to spend extra money out of pocket. I wanted to make sure that I was proving my husband wrong and saying, I can do this. I sold my investment. I made that money back, and I'm working to get free products. So I wasn't spending any money, but then I could try. So what would you say, if you hear my daughter, she's like a hot mess loud back there. So I'm about to text my husband. It's probably because they just got ice cream. So what would you say if you're talking to me and I'm your new distributor? What would be your first tips on how do you get your newbie started? Because again, there's some people I saw, started 25 days ago. So maybe they're working towards those first 6 customers. So what are your tips for that?
So my tips for new distributors is, I know host to post is a huge thing. When I first started this business, I was not into the whole host post thing. I didn't think it worked, but I'm telling you guys, host post is where it's at. I don't remember which month it was, but there was one month this year that I literally signed over 30 customers just from doing host post, which was insane. And it's just so easy. You're literally giving someone a post to post for you, and they're doing the work for you. And all you're doing is just messaging the people from that post. It's so easy. And yeah, I've been in the business for almost 2 years. I still get posts that are duds, I don't get any interaction on, and that's okay. It's just something that you have to be consistent with, and you have to do so many of them. And it literally takes one person to post for you, and it'll blow up. And you just have to keep being consistent with it, because for the longest time, I didn't think it worked, and I wasn't consistent with doing host posts. And that's why it's something that you need to do daily or every other day. And just that consistency of doing it all the time, just getting people to put just a couple posts up. You don't have to get a million posts up, but even 5. If you have someone put 5 posts up for you, that's better than nothing. And that's putting your business out there. People are going to see that. And so the more that you do that, the more consistent it is. People are going to be seeing these posts over and over again. And then you'll have people come to you even asking too, aside from other people sharing. And what I like to do for host posts is whether you're a pen and paper person, or you can even do it on your phone, but you can just like make a chart. And so what I like to do is every time someone posts for me, I'll write their name down and kind of like keep track of all the people who've posted for me. And then on Facebook, there's a way that you can save the post as well, and that helps keep track of all the people that have posted for you. You can just go back and check in. It's literally so simple and easy way to get customers.
Yeah, so I mean, for those of you that maybe don't even know what Host to Post is, I promise you, if you go back to our team page, go to the top, search Host to Post. We've done trainings pretty much almost every other week on Newbie Power 30, so we won't go into it in too much detail. But essentially, it's a referral system, right? You're simply saying, hey, you know, Brianna, like I just started my business. I would love for you to support me in it. I'm not asking you to buy anything. By all means, I'd be more than happy to send you some information if you're interested. But would you mind supporting me and just throwing something up on your wall? And they're like, yeah, that's totally fine. You're going to post let's say, for example, you're going to choose hair, skin, and nails. You're going to say, they're going to post this on their wall. It's going to say, hey, my friend Erin is looking for, 12 product models. Like there's some different text. And again, if you go and type Host to Post, you will find that thread of Host to Post examples and the comments. The work's already done for you. The conversation example's already done for you. But they're posting that. So now, not only am I going to be posting on my wall, and I'm going to ask you about that in just a minute, but not only am I posting on my wall, but now all of a sudden I have I have Brianna posting, and I have Sarah posting, and I have Misty posting, and I have Melissa posting, and I have Carly posting. Like you have all these other people posting. So do you see how awesome that can be for your business? And like Brianna said, the big thing is just consistency with doing it. So you can start at day one, or maybe you haven't given it your all, or maybe you haven't jumped into it. Now's a great time to do it. Start getting in that rhythm of asking, because that people are more than willing to put a post on their wall. People are more than willing to do that, especially because our team participates in a giveaway. So you can always tap into that. If you have specific questions, go back to your enroller, ask those. Just say, hey, like what giveaway is going on right now? I'm not sure what's going on. Ask those questions, because that's going to be huge. So, you're going and you've got all these other people that could be commenting, or maybe some posts, they may not have comments, and that's okay. It happens to all of us, right? But the big thing is, if you're focusing on getting 5 to 10 up a day, you're going to start to see those results happen over time. So do you feel like there's a benefit in, posting on your wall too at the same time? Because if we just brought in all these new distributors and we just said, okay, you guys can only work your business through Host to Post, like you might get a couple customers, but the sustained length of your business. So will you talk a little bit about that? Because that's also what's going to bring in customers as well.
Yeah. So normally, like when I have new distributors join, I will have them put up like a starter post, kind of like telling how they joined this business, and that they're super excited, and even telling their story too, and like why they joined, and the reasons and all that. So that's really important, and just sharing products too. So I know, like towards the beginning, like if you may not have, I know like when I first started, and like I hadn't tried any products, and I was like, I don't know how I'm supposed to share this stuff if I haven't tried it. But I just didn't care, and I just started posting, and you're going to have people that will ask you like, well, have you tried this? So if you ever put a post up about a product and they ask you if you tried it, like I would just say like, not yet, but I'm going to, or because I know, getting in a situation like that, you just kind of feel stuck and not know what to say. But, I would just kind of say something like that if you do have someone like that. But just sharing the products consistently, and even if you're new, and I know this is a little out of the comfort zone at first, but I personally share myself making my products on my stories every single day. And that's something that I do consistently. And you don't have to talk. You don't even have to show your face. Like you can literally crop your face out if you want, but literally just showing yourself making products and showing people that you're using them, that people are going to consistently, watch you and see you using these products. And then you're going to have people come to you and asking you about these products, and sharing your results too. So, later on as you're in the business and you start using the products, sharing your results is super important. The longest time I didn't share my results, and ever since I've shared my results, I will have people just like randomly message me saying that they've seen my results, And that's just sharing your own results is really, you want to be a product of the product. So that's another really great tip as well. And another, this is a little off topic because I forgot to say this before about host posts, but I wanted to add, so like if someone comments, so like I've had this before where I'll have someone share a post for me on a host post, and someone will comment and then I message them and then they say that they're not interested. And so if they say they're not interested, I'll be like, well, okay, I said, would you mind sharing a post for me then? And so that person who commented on the host post wasn't interested, but then I'm going to have them share a post for me. And so that's going to get another host post out. So that's another tip that I wanted to share, because if someone tells you no or says they're not interested or something, like, don't like completely take it as a no, like turn it into a host post. And so that is another great tip that I have learned. So that's something that I would highly recommend doing. So that way you don't just get upset for being told no.
I love it. Well, and I think too, it's funny because and you have to think about it like this, like not everybody's going to say yes right away. But people are nosy. Okay. So the more that you're posting about it, they're going to be like, what's going on? So first, if you're posting and you're using a frother, okay, let's say they're interested in your coffee. They're watching your coffee videos, but they're going to come to you and they're going to be like, oh, where'd you get that frother? Do I just get it on Amazon? Can you set, like, they're going to ask all the questions non-related to the coffee, right? And then they're going to be like, oh, like how do you make that? Like what creamer do you put in? They're going to ask about the creamer. And then they're going to come around, and I can't tell you how many times that has happened. I'm like, good Lord, I know you know exactly what keto coffee I'm using. I use the same K-Cup in there every single day, but I've done it each and every day. So it is about being a product of the product and showing people that you are using it. And so again, if you just got started, it's okay. I didn't use a product until a month in because, like I said, I wanted to make sure that I got my shopping spree so I could cover the price of my products, but I was excited. And so if anything, go into this excited to try everything, go into this excited to tell people about it. Think about it too. There's so many bloggers and people that are posting, outfits and stuff, and, they're making commission off of like to know it or different apps and stuff like that. And so you have to kind of like, this can be the exact same thing. You're sharing things that you're excited about trying out. Like some people don't even like the things, but they just know that they're going to make commission or different things. But how many times, like, it drives me nuts too, if you go and let's say you see somebody post something, but it's not necessarily them. But you're like, oh, that's cute, but I don't know how it's going to fit on me. And so then you're stuck in this position of, well, like, is it going to fit me right? Because I haven't gotten the full view. But then as soon as they go and they have that outfit and then they post it on themselves, you're like, oh, like, I feel like I've got good perspective on it. It's the same thing with the products. Like, you can post all the before and afters and you're probably going to get some customers. But once people start seeing you personally use them each and every day, it's going to be huge. So let's talk a little bit about, have you had to ever message anybody about products, like having those conversations? And I think, that sometimes too can be nerve-wracking because people are like, oh my gosh, like I have, like I can post and I'm getting host posts, but now I have to talk to people. So talk us through like a little bit of conversations, because obviously the point of this whole entire Zoom when I came to you and I was like, hey, can you be on with me? Is really upselling, because it, like she said, with host posts, you have the ability to sign 30 customers, but I want you guys to think about it like this. Maybe you're coming on board and you're like, okay, Brianna signed 30 customers, but let's say she signed 30 customers at 30 BV, right? So that's 900 volume total commission, okay? But let's say you come in and you focus on upselling, and we're gonna talk about some tips for that. But let's say you sign your 10 customers at 100 BV, right? 100 BV. So you've signed less customers, but you're actually 100 more in volume, right? So that's the power of, looking at this. So don't feel rushed to have a conversation. Don't feel rushed to just get somebody in the system. I promise you they're going to fall in love with the products. But don't you feel like there's way more power in getting them started on more than one thing? So will you talk us through, those conversations of how you're talking to people about upselling? Because at the end of the day, there's tons of scripts in our team page. There's tons of different messages. And I know that all of our leadership is here to support you in having those conversations, but there can be so much power in doing that.
So, for longest time, like, I was always so nervous to upsell, but it's literally so easy for me now. And like, especially if you're using the products too, it's very easy to upsell. Um, and I mainly do it off of host to post. So like, if I put a coffee post up and someone comments on it, I give them the info on the coffee, and then based off of their goal, I will always upsell to the TFX, because the coffee and the TFX is something that I do consistently every single day. It's how I've gotten my results. So I will voice message people and kind of like explain that. And I just tell them, like, this is what I use. This is what has helped me with my weight loss. And it's kind of like an extra boost along with the coffee. Or even if someone comments on a TFX host to post, I will message them, ask them what their goal is, and then based off their goal, I'll ask them if they're a coffee drinker. And I know that's like completely different from what the post was about. Ask them if they're a coffee drinker, and then they'll say yes. I'll give them info on the coffee, and then I'll give them info on what the post actually was about, which is TFX. And so that's the way that I upsell. And especially with this pick 2-3 deal going on, I always upsell coffee and TFX, because it's a pick 3 deal and it's literally a huge savings. Another thing that I do like to upsell is the cleanse too. So let's say someone doesn't want to lose a whole lot. Maybe if they want the coffee and they don't want the TFX or something, a cleanse is something that's good. So I kind of just like base it around the person's goals, like how much they're looking to lose. Like if someone's wanting to lose like 10 pounds, I mean, not saying you can't recommend them a couple different products, but I personally always recommend a couple different products for people who have a larger goal. So like 20 to 30 plus, I always recommend cleanse, coffee, and the TFX. And that's something that I do consistently. So just my tip is just kind of like base it off of the person's goal. But yeah, the coffee and TFX is just one that I consistently do. So, and it's what I use. So once you guys, start using the products, then and you get your own results, and that's kind of like what you lean more towards as to recommending people, because once you get your own results. But yeah.
I love it. Well, and I think too, think about it. Like you said, some crucial pieces in here. Obviously, it's not just, oh my gosh, like they're interested in one thing. Like, let me just hurry up and get that. Like, I know y'all are excited to get your 6 customers, or maybe you're watching this video, but I promise there's power in finding out what your customer's goal is. Because a lot of times when people, start partnering different things like the TFX and the carb control, or TFX and cleanse, or TFX and coffee, like they're going to start to get even quicker results. And that's what we're in, a society where people want those quick, fast results, right? So that's the thing, is people are looking for something that's going to help them feel better, going to give them more energy, more focus. They're going to lose weight. Like they're looking, and we have those things. So getting them on some type of regimen, and especially like you said, with the sales going on, there's no reason that you can't do it. But you want to make sure that you're asking them their goal, like, hey, what is your next 90-day goal look like? Finding out those specific things. Do you exercise? Do you have a certain diet in mind? Those different types of things. Maybe if they're coming at you and they're saying, hey, I want to lose 30 pounds, but like, on the weekends, I just splurge whatever. That might be a time to just say, hey, your first month, you might want to get hooked up with some fat fighters, so that way you can have them just in your purse for whenever you might need it. Like just those specific things. You never know what's going to happen. And then too, like you said, voice messaging a lot of times. And I know it's going to be scary when you're first getting started, because you're going to be like, I don't know what to say. Here's the cool thing, like Facebook Messenger and Instagram. Now, I know now Instagram officially has the option where you can forward voice messages. So you just get it down one time and you can forward it. Okay. It'll take all the pressure off. You can just forward it to that next person, and they're not even going to know that you sent it. Same. So if you just get really good at one thing, like talking about what the TFA, and you're excited, you're like, God, that was golden. Like you don't have to repeat again. You can just copy and paste or forward it, whatever you want to do. And that's the awesome thing. You can get specific, because at the end of the day, you want these customers to see results, but we don't want them to just come on board, for 90 days. We want them to stay long-term. But once they're falling in love with different things, that's how you can really get them in the door. Maybe they don't have weight loss goals. Maybe they're just looking to, feel better or have more energy or sleep better. Now we have a lot of things too. I'm sitting here drinking my reds and greens. And I'm like, I got to keep mixing this up, because everything has been sitting there for a hot minute and it's not good. once it's been sitting for a little bit. So, there's different things like, I may not be focused on weight loss, but I may be like, I want to get my, all my vitamins and nutrients in a quick method, right? So thinking about how can you help them? How is that product going to make them feel? What's their goal? Those different types of things are going to be tremendous. So any other tips that we didn't cover as far as signing loyal customers? Because I think the big thing too, comes down to consistency. And I know you mentioned it a little bit, but what do you feel like looking back over the 2 years? Is there anything that you would say to yourself when you first got started, you would just like change anything, or kind of looking over your journey, is there one big tip that's really stood out to you?
Um, Shoot, that's something to think about. Really, consistency is really important, and start doing the host post. I'm telling y'all, that's literally all I do now. When I first joined, it's not something that I did, and just literally share everything, the products you're using, post consistently, show using the products on your story, and people are just going to continue to watch you, and just do these little things consistently every single day, and like over time it's going to add up and your business will literally explode. And I know a lot of times it can be discouraging, like doing things consistently and you feel that it's not doing anything, but I promise you, like, and especially host posts, like I just can't stress enough, like it's just so important to do. And it's so easy, and just the more that you do it, the better it's going to get, and that's something that will literally like blow your business up. And I just can't stress enough that get started on host posts now more than anything.
I love it. Well, and I'm going to add this in too, because I listened to an Audible book the other day, and Chris Hodges was giving an example of like kind of essentially like the compound effect and compounding interest. And so you can apply this to your business too. He said, a lot of times they'll look at a situation and they'll offer somebody, okay, you can have $1 million today, or if I have a penny in this hand, but if you come back for the next 30 days, each day that penny will get doubled. So like next day you'll get 2 pennies, then 2 pennies turns into 4. You guys get the overall picture, right? I'm not going to keep doing math for you. But so he's like, obviously people, if you came in, you're like, hey, like here's 6 customers, you'd be like, cool, like that's it. But if you went with the compounded interest, or, the work of doing things each and every day, he said that penny over the 30 days with the compounded interest actually turns into $26 million plus, which you wouldn't think. And if you want to sit there, and he like did the whole math thing, but I was like, oh my God, like that's crazy, because it is that little work that's built up over time each and every day. So sometimes we come in and we're like, we want to get 6 customers, we want to do this right off the bat. And then, it's like that, but I promise you that compounded consistency over time is what's going to pay off for your business. I'm not doing anything different than I did 6 years ago. Obviously, like social media has changed and I've gotten a little bit better at it. Okay. But I'm still posting, I'm still talking to people, I'm still doing those certain things. And here I am 6 years later, but that I'm doing the same thing over and over and over, right? Because that's what people are going to trust, and that starts to build that relationship. And so the more, if you haven't tried a product, make that your goal to get those 6 customers. That way you can go after that. Start host to post, start implementing these things, because I promise you, these are proven systems that have been working and are working. And so why not jump into something, don't stress yourself out reinventing the wheel. It's like, hey, let me make a list of friends and family, one, that maybe either want the products, or 2, you can start reaching out to host a post for you. And then you can start from there. You can go to your enroller and just say, hey, do you have an example message I would love to send out? It really can be simple. It's not easy, but it's just simple, duplicatable things that you're going to do each and every day, right? It's just that little bit of effort and compounded work ethic that's going to build up over time, that's going to give you the results. So this was awesome. That's all I've got for tonight. Short and sweet, but there's a ton of different trainings. If you're looking for more specifics on host posts, you can go dive into that. But that was really powerful. And, there is so much power to just taking the time to have conversations. And I know you're going to be excited, and I know you may say the wrong thing, Believe me, we've all been there where we word vomited, and it's okay. You can still have those conversations with people. You can still figure out what's going to be the best products for their goals, like all those different things. And if you have questions, reach out. You know, that's what we're here for, is to help guide you in this process. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I hope everybody has a great night, and we'll see y'all again on Thursday. Bye, y'all.
Bye.